Greetings, children of the universe. My name is Reverend Craig Norman of Universal Life Church Norman Ministries. In conjunction, and this is my partner.
High Priest Jay Evans.
And my son.
Missionary Adam Norman.
And we are presenting
Master de Batorz.
In
conjunction with that jump.
All right. Anyway, today we're going to further from last week, I guess. Is that what we decided to do?
Yeah.
We covered RPGs. Was it RPGs we covered last week?
Yep. Last week was massively RPGs.
So we're going to cover like board games this week.
Like Monopoly and Candy Island or something like that.
Candyland.
This is going to be a very short one because, like I said, we're covering board games.
Board. Emphasis on board.
Trivial Pursuit being one of the worst, but I love it.
Right? So, what was your earliest board game? Hi, Druid.
Shoots and Ladders.
Shoots and Ladders? Yep. You know
that
what?
Was the first one I played.
The first one I ever played was checkers.
Checkers.
With my grandpa.
And chess.
I would have thought it would have been chess, not the same.
Yeah, that's a board game.
I would have always thought it would have been chess.
No, actually, the very first, in my second game, was Chinese checkers, which was a bunch of marbles on a star.
That
you had
looked
to
like
move
the
your
Star of
marbles
David.
over.
And it looked like the Star of David.
Yep. Yeah, it was on the Star of David. What was your first board game?
Chess.
You didn't play a board game like Candyland or Life or anything?
Candy Island, but
Candyland.
that wasn't the first one I played.
You actually played chess first?
I played chess first.
Man,
that was my first game I ever played.
You can tell he's my son. I was introduced to checkers first. He was introduced to chess.
Anyway, chess was it's more of a strategic game than anything else because you got to outwit your opponent.
And honestly, it was originally a war game. It's how they learned strategy for war.
Yeah.
As a matter of
fact, in Asia, mind you.
Well, didn't one of them like propose that instead of going to physical war, that the leaders just sat down to a chess game?
Yeah.
I think that was something that was, I can't remember where I read that at, but wherever it was, you got the credit. I didn't know that firsthand. I learned it from somewhere.
I don't remember where I heard that either.
No,
but
I just remember, I think it was while we were in school and they covered it. That's been years ago. Hell, it might have been college. I don't know. So
it was one of those times.
Okay, so what's top of your head when I say board games? What do you think?
Just a game you and your friends gather around to play on a table, and you lay the board out and you put out your pawns or your pieces, whatever.
Adam, when I say board games, what do you think?
Just a bunch of people crawling around a little chessboard.
When someone would say board games to me, I think of Monopoly right off the rip.
I think Trivial Pursuit, but that's because
Trivial Pursuit, that's a good one. Monopoly is another good one. Good.
Oh, let me explain why I think Trivial Pursuit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different versions of it in my cupboard right here.
Oh my gosh. Risk is another board game that many people don't really think that is a board game, but it is.
And they've also put it into video.
Monopoly and Trivial Pursuit have hit video game now too.
And there's a lot of derivatives in the video gaming of Monopoly. Like, I don't remember what it was on Facebook, one of the Facebook games.
Well, they now have Monopoly, the longest version ever played. You literally go, the way the board's set up, it's 3 loops on one loop.
Oh, wow.
You have 3 goes, 3 jails, 3 go to jail, so on and so forth.
Wow. My daughter and son-in-law, my daughter Mary and son-in-law Matt, they introduced me to Monopoly brands.
Oh God.
Like where you, instead of owning like Boardwalk and that, you would literally own like Nike and this, and you put a peg in it.
Yeah, you're talking brands. I thought you said brains.
No, brands. And I thought that was pretty cool, man. Because it's a shorter game. It really is a shorter game than like the classic Monopoly. And I actually enjoyed that because it was like more of a modern thing.
And then you have all these other derivatives, like you said. There's Irishopoly, which is basically you're playing for things dealing with the college, the Fighting Irish College, Notre Dame.
Yeah. Well, here's another one: is Catan.
I don't think I've ever heard of Catan.
I have. It's unusual.
It's a cross between, like, Civilization even came out with a board game.
Right. Well, Catan is basically a cross between Civilization and Risk.
Yeah, it is. It's like a mixture of the two.
And chess, Monopoly, you name it, they've all got their own derivatives.
Yeah. And what?
Hey, they even have Nintendo. Not Monopoly, but Nintendo Chess. Mario and Bowser are your kings.
Well, and you have online. You have chess now online with Chess with Friends.
Yep, and
Friends.
Word with Scrabble.
Scrabble's another good one.
Scrabble, another board game that's a word game.
And on my what's another board game that I played a lot of? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I remember Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep, we played that a lot as a kid.
And the game that never fucking worked right. Excuse the language, but the game that never worked properly. Mousetrap.
Oh, I know. I remember Mousetrap. I used to hate that thing. It never would work properly.
I had it work right twice in my 45 years.
I was gonna say in the 3 years that we played it every freaking Saturday when my cousins come over, I don't think that son of a bitch worked right. Another one is Hungry Hippos.
I love that game.
I love it.
I never had a problem with that game. But me and my friends came up with a new version. You take the heads off the hippos, and you try to get the marbles in all theirs.
Tic-tac-toe with the little round black and yellow or black and red chips that you have to tic-tac-toe it. Where you cross it in a line.
I can't remember the name of that game.
I can't either. But
actually, one of my favorite board games is actually
about this high. Stand about this high, and you put.
It had checkers. It was checkers where you had the black and red checkers, and you had to put them on.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it.
But one of my favorite board games is a pegboard and a deck of cards. Cribbage. I thought I would never like that game, and then when I was staying in a homeless shelter up in Michigan, sorry OSU, that state up north, I got into it while I was staying at the homeless shelter. We would have endless hours playing that with me and a couple of my buddies, and it's not a hard game to play. You, however many times you got 15, you got 2 points. For every time you got so many cards in a row, you got points.
Right. I haven't played that
same card.
But when we was covering tabletop games, we never thought last week we didn't think about card games.
No.
But those are technically tabletop games. You play them on
a tabletop game is any game you play at a table you don't use a video game for.
Yeah, like Uno or Scrap, like weird games like War, Solitary, all them.
Rummy,
Heart,
Poker.
D&D, the granddaddy of all RPGs, is a tabletop.
Yeah, it does have a tabletop version. I wanted to get into that, but I never did.
You played D&D with? Did you ever play D&D with dice, pencils, and a paper?
Well, yeah, always. That's
tabletop.
Right. I know.
That's tabletop. You get around the table, or
I was talking about where they did the graphs and you know, the
yeah.
draft board that you put down. But you know, there's so many games that can be played socially that I think we've lost sight of it. That our new social is in the social medias and in the video gamings that are like MMOs, MMO RPGs, whatever. You know, I think that's where we're moving towards.
Yeah, and you almost had to right now do everything by social media.
Well, yeah. How are we seeing each other is by doing this show and a few videos in between where we're video conferencing. You know, me and Adam live together, so we're here. I know I know that I ain't got COVID. I know he ain't got COVID. You probably know you ain't got COVID. But we don't know in between me and you
who has
how many people have COVID.
How many we're going to be exposed to while we travel. 'Cause I'm in Columbus, you're in Newark, and that's not a very far distance, but
no, it's like a 30 to 45 minute travel.
Yeah, it's not
depending on where you are in Columbus and where I am in Newark.
Yeah, I'm at North Linden, so straight up 161. It's like 25 minutes to get to downtown Newark.
Right, and I don't live that far from downtown Newark.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. You know, that day we came in there to do the Wii thing.
Yeah, you got a bunch of my Wii stuff that I wasn't using.
You know, it only took us like 22 minutes to get in there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that far, but so yeah, as we're coming in, you know, it's a good thing that we had a good social media network already in place before COVID-19.
Yeah, it's thanks to 20 plus years of MySpace, Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
Technology.
And everybody's like, you can't play D&D online. You heard of Discord? You heard of Discord? That's the biggest gamer community out there. Discord is nothing but gaming. Well, there are some Discords that you need to keep an eye out for children.
Right, because it has, while we're on that,
parents.
While we're talking about the COVID, I really want to express this. When we wear a mask in public, we're saying that we care about our fellow man, that we care about our fellow humankind. A lot of people are saying, this mask thing, they're not going to tell me to wear it. I would hope that everybody would understand that wearing the mask is not demeaning in any way. It is protecting others and protecting yourself from others that may have COVID. And yes, everything that we found, COVID-19, it just spreads faster than the flu, which makes it have a higher death rate, even though the percentages of people are around comparative to those who catch the flu. But because it spreads so quick, it's more people.
And I hate to say this because I do love humankind and I do love people, but I think it's nature's way of balancing the books, to be honest. Because when we start to overpopulate, what does nature do? Drops in a major plague.
Oh yeah, and then we've seen it. We've seen it over and over again. And the thing of it is the bad part of it is there's so much controversy because, like, literally, we have known 6 people that had COVID. All right, that were in the medical field. That said it wasn't any more than a few sniffles, some diarrhea, and a little bit of vomiting for like 3 weeks. And they're fine. They're over it and they're back to work.
But I have to push something I keep seeing on. I use Crunchyroll because I watch a lot of anime. Well, Samuel L. Jackson and a bunch of other actors are pushing this. The fight is innocent. Please, if you have had COVID, go to that website. Donate your plasma for those that cannot fight for themselves.
I agree.
I'm not doing that for money, people. That's just the facts. Yes, COVID is deadly. But don't put people down for wearing masks if they're trying to protect themselves and others. And if you're going to wear a mask, wear it correctly. Cover your nose, your mouth, your chin. Because if you're not covering those, you're not protecting yourself or anyone else.
And I really, I know we wanted to talk about gaming, but man, this COVID-19 thing, we really got to take this serious as humankind.
Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't fault the government as they stumble through trying to figure out what to do.
Right, because we haven't had a plague-like epidemic like this in, heck, even AIDS hasn't done this.
But no, pandemic. It's a pandemic, not epidemic. Epidemic is just like a isolated incident that spread through a small area. Pandemic is worldwide.
Well, thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that because I'm not the best linguistic in the world.
I wasn't trying to demean you.
No, I'm thanking you for correcting me because I'm not the best linguist.
Well, see, and that's the problem. There's been so many people that have used epidemic, even when they're like explaining what's going on, that when someone looks up epidemic, oh, it's just an isolated incident. No, this is a freaking pandemic. It's affecting the whole flipping world, and we really need to take it seriously.
Yeah. And don't get mad at these businesses.
Well, no. Or the
for you having to wear a mask.
They're doing what they can to stay open and to provide us with what we need. We're not in the ancestral grounds to where we go out and hunt. So our hunting ground is the grocery store.
Right.
If those weren't open, how would anybody eat?
Or, for instance, like me, I'm a gamer. I go to a place called Game Table Adventures. And the owner brings his kids in. And his parents come in all the time. And who are the two biggest demographics that suffer from it? I'm not saying the middle-aged don't. I'm not saying that.
It's actually starting to spike in the ages of 25 to 35.
My generation
right.
is getting it hard.
But
some are dying
But how many
right.
of those in that generation weren't wearing masks at the beginning of this, not taking it serious?
Right. But look out for people's kids.
Look out for the elderly.
Look out for your parents, yourself,
right.
your children.
Okay,
grandkids.
I think we covered it. When it comes down to it, we just need, and COVID-19 has affected RPG in a bad way as far as the tabletop, like Dungeons and Dragons and Rifts and
it has, and it hasn't all at once. Most people don't realize that we were already going to the digital era.
Right.
We were already starting to use Discord. We were already starting to play online. All this is doing is
we can sit here and play D&D like this.
Right, as long as, well, with Zoom, as long as we're only two screens unless somebody's paying for a subscription.
Right.
I'm not complaining about it because it actually makes Zoom free for those of us that can't afford it and keeping it to two screens.
Right. And that's why we're on a shoestring budget, which comes down to the ministry has been becoming very active when it comes to the homeless veterans because they're in a targeted group. So what we're doing now is that if anybody wants to donate 100%, I want everybody to understand that 100% of what we make off of this, off of everything else, it goes right out to the works. None of us are paid. Even when this page gets monetized, our bylaws don't allow any of us to be paid.
Yeah, we won't be able to be paid. The founders won't be able to be paid until long after myself, Craig, and his wife Dana are gone.
Well, then it would be
until I was gone.
It would be until Adam was gone. He was there at the beginning.
I know, but you understand what I'm saying. I don't mean to leave you out there, Adam. It's just you have a better chance.
In all honesty, the only founders that are left is Dana, you, and myself. And we always had the bylaws where we didn't take any money for what we did. So if people will donate to this, and you can make your contributions at the emails, which we forgot, I need to share before we end this today. I need to share the
daily bylaw.
The daily bylaws or the weekly bylaws. Where did it go?
You got it there somewhere.
Hold on, Adam.
This one.
No, it's not. Something
Ow.
happened. Hold on, Jay. Something happened to the thing.
Your laptop hiccuped, or your computer hiccuped. Sorry.
Or I accidentally cut it off after I showed it to you.
You silly, silly man.
Still on caps lock.
I had to plug my laptop in. It was starting to get low.
There you go. All right. Now we should be able to. And here we go. All right. Can you see that okay?
As soon as it comes up, yep, there we go.
Okay. Everybody, we're not asking for handouts. We never did. We are saying that if you would like to donate to the ministry that we do, which is the street ministry, where we help the homeless, the addicts, the mentally ill, we do a one-on-one shark program with them. Even in the epidemic, we go out with our mask on, and we still help them. We just had a success story of getting a veteran that's been homeless. It took us 2 weeks, but he finally got into a place, and it's permanent. And he's getting all of his benefits will be started next month now that he has his home. So donations can be sent to, if you want to donate, send us a message at this email requesting a PayPal invoice for the amount that you want to donate. Or contribute. I have to say contribute because understand we never did file tax exemption, but our works are tax exempt. So you only be able to write off 1/3 of what you contribute as opposed to a whole 100% write-off, because we never wanted to be bound not to petition the government for change. If we took on 501c3 status, we would not be able to petition the government for change, and we are active with government changes for positive social change. So if you would like to contribute, please send your information, your email to ulcnormanministries20@gmail.com. If you want to join our show, put that junk in the subject, and we will send you an invitation. Make sure you include what topics you're interested in. And now we're going to cover one of the 13 tenets, which is number 4 of progressive universalism. And that's here. Do you want to read it, Jay?
Humankind being the dominant life force are each free-willed operant agents. As such, each person has the natural right to experience the life cycle as he or she believes is sufficient to him or herself, so long as there is no unnatural harm caused to any other life.
Thank you, actually, because talking that long, I could actually get tongue-tied very easily reading.
Okay, so you get to read next week's.
Yeah, doing the short ones, I won't get tongue-tied as easily because, I get frustrated when I get tongue-tied.
What do you view? What's your viewpoint of that theology?
As far as on land, we are the dominant life form. We are the intellectual life form.
Even in the ocean, Jay, even in the ocean, we kill the biggest fish there is, and that is called the shark whale. And that thing is huge.
But hear me out. as far as intellectuals go in the water, there is an equivalent. The dolphin is just as intellectual as any human being, but they lack something we have as far as we know, free will.
Right.
They are naturally a good creature.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, as far as I see what you're saying there, you know, absent our technology, we really wouldn't be the dominant force.
No. Mankind has something that no other being has. We have ingenuity that allows us to invent new items that we can manipulate with our hands or manipulate with our mind.
And we have something that's developed, that's not developed in other species to the fullness that ours is. About 4 million years ago, we evolved in our brain a prefrontal cortex, which is all the front part of this brain where the higher thinking is. And so now understand, animals make dwellings, like birds make nests,
Right.
groundhogs burrow, but they're drivers. We can be driven by multiple things. We're not just driven by food. We're not just driven by sex. We're not just driven by.
We're driven by all our little ticks.
Right. Yeah. Basically, and so, what do you think about that each of us being this operant agent means a free-willed operant agent means that
You're your own person.
You're your own person.
Right. Some are wolves, some are sheep. I'm somewhere in the
Some like
middle.
to follow the wolf. Some just don't want to follow the wolf.
Some like to follow a shepherd, and some sheep run away.
Yeah.
I personally, I believe that every man has a right to his own belief system. Every man.
Just man?
When I say man,
woman.
hear me out. Hear me out. When I say man, I'm talking as a race, not as a gender.
Right.
Understand the term man did not originally mean male. Man meant the race of humankind. Mankind. Shorten it to man. What is the derivative word? Man.
Man.
We as humans are man. Like, I'm going to use D&D as an example. What were humans called? Man. They weren't called male or female. They were called man. Not because it was gender derivative. It was race derivative.
Okay, so do you believe what's your take on that everybody has the natural right to experience life as they see fit?
As long as it doesn't impede on another person's right to do the same.
What about other life forms?
Like, say, ants and bugs and
I'm fine with all insects and everything. Spiders just need to stay the hell away from me.
Well, and that's what I said by unnatural. I think that's where it's covered by unnatural harm caused to any other life. Would mean, you know, we have to eat, so we have to kill a plant to eat. If you're vegetarian, if you eat meat, you know, you got to kill an animal. I try to, since I don't know the animal that my meat comes from, you know, I'm not saying pray over your food, but what I do is I thank the animal, whatever it may be. I don't know you, but thank you for giving your life for my sustenance.
That goes back to not just Native American, but Native American's the first one to come to mind. The belief that the hunter thanks the creature hunts for sacrificing, to be the sacrifice to sustain the hunter's life and the hunter's family's life.
Right. And the plants are the same way. I thank the vegetables for giving their life to me. I think that a spirit of gratitude when we have to kill something should be there. Even like, I'm talking about even in wars where people are killing, we should be grateful at the fact that we lived, and not so much and sorrowful that we had to take another life for a cause.
Right.
You know, we should say that thank you for giving me the opportunity. You know, how do you do that? How do we apply this to a situation like war?
I honestly don't know. I can't hold it against. Let's say I'm a soldier. I can't hold the other soldier for following orders.
Right? And they shouldn't hold us for following orders.
Right. They're just doing what their government tells them to. I'm not saying I believe what they believe. Yes, I have a problem with terrorists. But I do not have a problem with another soldier of another country if I were a soldier.
Right.
Yeah, in that position, I might fight for my life because I don't want to die. I want to come home to my family, but I'm not a soldier. I can't be that kind of soldier. Physically, I'm not capable. The United States government didn't think I was capable because technically I'm not.
Well, yeah.
Cerebral palsy that prevents me from getting in the field.
Right.
But
I can't go back active duty either.
I can't even attempt to join.
He's
Right.
an only son.
Actually,
They'll
they did
just
away
kick
with that
me out.
law. They
Right.
actually just recently did away with the Ryan Act.
No, they didn't.
Yes, because now daughters can carry on the family name. But are you disabled?
Yes,
Then you cannot fight.
I know.
If you are disabled in any way, shape, or form, and you are on medication, the military cannot take you.
So this will be for another topic. Next week we're going to cover
No.
we are going to cover
Another topic of games.
another topic on the games where we do like everything versus, you know, which ones we do. Is that what we're doing next week?
I think so. I think we were actually going to get into the verses about that point. The pros and cons of this type of gaming versus that type of gaming.
Versus, right. So that's what we're going to do next week, folks. Sorry that we've extended this longer than what we were going to. We're trying to keep it within 10 minutes. May the power of the universe be with each and every one of you. Jay, we'll talk after this show.
Yep.
A little more, but I'm going to have to go get something to eat first, okay? Are you going to be up for a while?
Yeah, I'm going to be searching for my remote anyways, but just message me